Hi guys, so today I have a happy jig to try out for you guys. I had picked this up recently on Amazon, so I'll link it in the description box, whichever places I can find it there that I have affiliate relationships with, and those would be affiliate links to me, and so I'll make a small commission if you were purchase items to those links. I had this in the past, and I don't even think I opened it, to be honest, but I couldn't find it, and right now I'm like, getting back into my beading and doing fun things like that, so I was like, I really want to try this out again, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I do have some other wires, though, we can try out with and things like that, so we'll definitely try it right now. Again, the We Are Memory Keepers Happy Jig. I just want to show you, look at my little swaps for the bead swap, you guys. Of course, if you watch this in the future, this will make no sense, but I'm doing a bead swap, so that's why I have my little cases here. And they're all done, so I'm way ahead of schedule. So, okay guys, let's open this up. So essentially, I mean, this is not anything new. Bead companies have been making them forever. What people do is they use them to make like a cool design and maybe hang a bead off of it or put a cabochon in the middle or different things that you can do with this. But with We Are Memory Keepers, of course, they're more like, oh, let's make like embellishment type things with them, right? So why not? And I just think it's a cute thing to put like on a swap, like to finish off your look or whatever. So if you have some ideas back here. It says also works great with 3D pens. Oh, that is interesting. I actually have a 3D pen that I bought on clearance at Michael's like years ago. And then I had to move, then I moved from Poway to the home that we have here in San Marcos that we purchased. So I never got a chance to play with it. I packed it up and then I haven't unpacked it basically or like used it since then. So that's been at least 4 years almost now. Yeah, 4 years this month. Actually, in a couple days. That's when we closed. So yeah. But apparently if you just follow the pattern with your 3D, pen in your hand, you can do it that way. Very interesting. And it does show that there are other templates on Instagram, it says. That's weird. Because, what? I guess, okay. I was like, how are you going to find that in their Instagram? Like, that would be buried. But apparently they have an Instagram handle just for this. We Are Happy Jig. So, W-E-R Happy Jig. Because what happens is that once you place these things, if you don't really know what to do to, make your own, it's going to be a real pain. So, they're giving you extra ones, like the little camera and things like this. That might be in here, but we'll see. So, it does come with some heavyweight gauge kind of wire. Let me see if it says how... it says 1 jig, 95 pegs, 1 wire cutter, 3 colors of wire. I would say this stuff looks pretty thick, like a 20. Is 20 a good number? I don't know. I forget how wire. I have some, but we'll see what the label on mine says, so we can know exactly. But it's heavyweight wire, as you can see. I mean, look at that. What I will say is be very careful when you're pulling this out. You don't really want to kink it because it's almost impossible to get a kink out of wire. So, when you go to use it, try to be as smooth as possible. I would leave it even round like that and see if you try to straighten it out, you might get a kink too. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But this one has the light blue, golden like a rose gold. Your little wire cutters, which honestly will be really good for other projects, especially when you're wire wrapping beads at the end. I'm always trying to get in there, and this is a nice angled wire cutter. It feels really nice. It has like a rubbery kind of grip. And there's just a little example there. Create custom wire embellishments is what it says. So we can take that off. I don't want to take it off. I don't know why. I don't like destroying packaging, even something like this. I would rip that off, but I don't want to. Okay, it has little pop dots. I always call these pop dots. I guess they're called glue dots, but I don't know why. Ever since using them a long time ago, we call them pop dots. This was kind of funny. They had die cut this, right, to cut it out, and they didn't pop out the little pieces. It would have looked much more finished had they done that. Look how funny. Even these little areas have little pieces to pop out. Okay. So, what it is a grid, and the grid has A, B, C, D, A through T, okay? So, A, B, C, D, so each line corresponds with a letter, and then it's 1 through 41 in the other direction, so 1, 2, 3, and it's basically like a game of Battleship when you have your little grid and you're like G8, so you're going to place something in G8, and then whatever else it is, and that's how you're knowing where to place your pegs when you open this up. You have your little pegs, tons of pegs. There's little tiny ones for smaller curves, or maybe something you have to bend around, or maybe loop it around completely. So all these things serve different purposes, and the thicknesses. Again, it might be that you wrap it completely, or you just use it as something to bend the curve for you. There's some smaller, middle-sized ones here. I think that's it. I think there's 3 different sizes, what it looks like. So we'll put the middle ones over here, big and little ones here. And then this guy can be carried on board, which is nice. Of course, these things are, you know, other, I guess you would store them somewhere else. I would be careful with these, and I probably would store them facing down because that is pretty sharp and it's coming right up at you. So face them down. And the book is a hefty little book, so hopefully there's a lot of great ideas in here. I really like the hello, of course. Okay. There are 2 wire measurements in the lower left corner of the instruction page. Each measurement includes extra wire for easier bending. Oh, okay. Use the gold number. That's what I was wondering. So, you know, you're going to guesstimate how much wire you need, but they're basically saying they're going to give you that info. So you have your pegs, 3 different pegs, small, medium, and large. Each has a horizontal groove to catch the wire. So each of them has like this little groove. It's easier to see on this guy, but obviously you can see them there. To catch the wire or whatever you need to do. The medium pegs with a vertical slot are starter pegs. So they're medium-sized pegs, and I should probably keep those separate. See how it's a little groove. I suppose you can use them either way, right? Even if you're running out and you don't need this many starter pegs, but some of them do have a slit that helps you hold on to the wire so you can get going, you know? And then again, we talked about peg placement. It's represented by a letter and number, and then choose a pattern from instruction book and place pegs onto happy jig according to pattern grid. And then we're going to start with the blue number on each instruction page represents the starter peg placement. So when you put down all your pegs, it's telling you to put it at H28 should be the starter peg. Gold numbers represent pegs that are only used for the paperclip portion of the design, which is very fun. That's literally what I want them for. And then maybe some of the words, right? And then 2 wire measurements, again, inches and centimeters. It's giving you a little extra in that measurement though, so that you have plenty to work with. So maybe once you get going, you're like, oh, you know, that one usually gives me an extra 2 inches. I'm not going to waste that. So maybe you make it 8 inches next time or whatever. Measure out correct amount of wire as shown. And again, I'm going to do that very gingerly because I do not want to kink the wire. So right here, they're just showing you this cute one to make, like, okay, let's say you want to make like this cute little thing of using baker's twine. Tape or glue each end to prevent unraveling. That's interesting. Anyhow, so they are starting off with like this simple one. I'm just curious, like this one says, they're not showing you here what to do yet because obviously they haven't told you where the pegs need to go. They're just saying begin a starter peg and thread wire through slot. If adding a paper clip, some designs begin at the clip instead of at the starter peg. Adding a paperclip, that's interesting. I thought the paperclip was going to be made out of this. So we'll see. Follow instructions, on instruction grid, bending wire around pegs. So obviously this is a more simple thing here. Like, I think this is very cute. But already looking at this, I'm like, what? It's this yellow one. Let me read this over a little bit more to myself because I don't want to confuse you guys. I love the paperclip option, but what's interesting, what they're saying is, if you want to make it into a paperclip, you're going to start this part and then you're going to do your design. So that's fine. And that's what's in gold, right? Okay, so as I'm looking over this, I think the easier one, obviously this is easy because you're just going to put that little extra bit. And as we're looking at it, it says it has 2 sets of measurements. And what they mean, I refer to that as like the inches and the centimeters. What they mean is they have that one if you just want to make the shape and then, you know, with the wire. And then they have this one that means it includes a paperclip portion. So instead of 13 inches, you would need 16 inches. Seems like a lot. I guess it depends on how big this thing ends up being, right? Sorry about my lighting. But, and then this heart one doesn't really show where it started or what's going on with the paperclip part of it. So I'm just not going to do that one quite yet. I want to do this one. So it means we need none of the large peg. We need 6 of the medium size. And 1 is the starting one, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And of course you can just place them as you go. I'm just bringing them out to show you. Okay, we need 6 of these guys. And 3 of the little ones. And this is where we're going to place them. So J19 is basically just for if you want the paper clips. So you don't have to place this one, but I do want the paper clip. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That includes the paper clip in the 6. But anyway, so J19, I'm just going to place that one right now. So I'm going to go to J and over to 19. And I'm going to mention something that's really convenient right now. J is that middle one, 19. I just push it in. I'm going to close this up since we already have what we need. They have just like little lines that kind of help you eyeball it. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was just nothing, you would probably lose track after a little bit. So that is helpful. Like it's on the 1, it's not on 2. Like the one that's going down this way, it's on 3, it's not on 4. Okay, and in the other direction, it's on A, but it's not on B. It's on C, but it's not on D. So that kind of helps you a little bit and keep your eyes tracking things correctly. Okay, and then from there, you know, for the small one, so I'm just going to place them wherever, okay. This one says J29, and I'm just looking at that one because I'm here. So 29 is here, and J was here. You know, it would be nice if they also had the letter on this side. That way you don't have to go so far, you know, without seeing it. But this is going to be a big item. Because look at that. That's the paperclip part of it and then the rest of it. So, okay. So I'm just going to continue placing these guys. It does say to place the beginner one at here, which I suppose is the one that's well, it says H28. Remember the blue one is the beginning peg? So H28. So H28, H is only 2 above these other guys. So like here. Yep. And I'm going to go ahead and place this in a direction that makes sense, because like, if you look at the picture, it's kind of like this. I suppose you can give it a twist if you need to. And then let's see here. I'm just going to continue placing them. So D23 and P23 I think are the other ones I need to place that are small. So D and then 23. When I find 23, A, B, C, D. I guess we can just do that. And then P23, which is basically just down from that guy, which is here. P23. Sorry, it's a little slow, but I'll just do this one, then the next ones I'll just do on my own. F21, H13, L13, and 21, right? So basically these guys. So, F21. So 21, A, B, C, D, E, F. That's a little bit easier for me. And N21. So N21 is this line. Okay, and then we need these guys. H and L13. So H is right here, 13 is right there, and then L13, which is right here. Okay, moment of truth. So I'm going to do 13 inches because I do want the paper clip on there. That seems like a lot. So let's go with gold. And again, see, I mean, it'll be okay. But just kind of, my measurement, my grid is down here, so I'm just going to hold this. Just kind of, I'm unrolling it like this as I measure, okay? H13, and like I said, they're giving you some extra, so I do not like wasting, but what are you going to do when you're first starting out? Okay. So they're just kind of showing you here. So what's interesting is that it doesn't really tell you, it just kind of shows you, like, maybe eyeball it right around this area, right? Like if I'm going to start off. And this is actually the example they're showing here, but this one starts off with just making your arrow no paper clip, right? But what they're saying, follow instructions on instruction grid, bending wire around pegs according to the illustration. Some might bend around it, some might bend completely like a loop, you know, over it. So you're just going to follow this. But since this one doesn't really show much as far as the beginning, I'm just going to do my own kind of eyeballing on that part. So I'm taking this one end, and it has it like here, right next to there. This middle area is where your wire can wrap around. Of course, if you make it wrap around the very base, that's not great, because actually, let me really pop these in. You know what's funny? I didn't think to push them in so hard, because it feels scary. Those are in. That's funny. Those are pretty much in. This does flex, and it's plastic, so it feels a little bit scary. But there we go. You don't want to get your wire stuck underneath there. So anyway, we're going to start here. Again, let me give you this just to start off just a little bit. And am I dilly-dallying? Yes, because I'm scared? Yes. Okay, so we're starting about here. This is one thing. It's like, ooh, I'm trying to be careful with my wire because, like I said, once it gets a little kink, it will like just stay there. And actually, I'm going to kind of wrap that by my hand. Okay. And then it says to go around this guy. That's why I feel like this time we're going to do this backwards. Because of the paper clip, or maybe when you're done, come back around and do the paper clip. Let's do that. Sorry guys, it's just on the thing it said just start, it starts at paperclip is what it says. But maybe they mean it starts, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, just here. It says begin at starter peg and thread wire through slot. If adding a paperclip, some designs begin at the clip instead of the starter peg. But that doesn't really make sense for this design. I think what I'm going to do is just wrap it around. And when I get here, I'm just going to come around and make the loop. Even though I do want the loop underneath. So I'll just leave that loop there. It's not a big deal. If I mess up with that, that's fine. Okay. So let's just start at the clippy. At the holder, right? The starter one. So we're just going to get that down in there. Oh, that goes in really nice and smooth, so that's nice. And we're going around this guy. And again, there's like a little groove in the middle there. And then I'm just being really gentle with this, guys, because again, I don't want to mess up my wire. And then we're going back around the inside of this guy. I'm just trying to put it in there. And then it's going to go around these two, and I'm keeping it pretty taut. I'm trying to, at least. So around that guy, around this guy. That's what they're showing. Over around this one, and then of course kind of getting it this way into the groove here of this peg, and then just into that groove there on that guy. He's moving around a little bit. Oh yeah, they do give you plenty of extra. That's kind of a bummer, but we'll see. By the time I finish the paper clip, I might still need it. And again, this is our first one, guys. Who knows? Right in here. And so to finish off the paper clip, I'm just coming down in here and around. And that's a little wonky, so what I'm going to do is... Oh! Where'd this come from? Here. That guy is not pushed in. There we go. Okay. Cute. I guess if you want it more crisp, that's one thing. I don't know if it gets more crisp than... Because they're round, right? So everything's kind of rounded off. Aw. Okay. And I would just cut it like here. Supposedly for a paper clip. And it gave us... like 1.5 inches extra. Again, if you didn't have that there, it might be hard to manipulate. I don't know, right? So let's just be done with that. Okay. And then I'm assuming we remove this carefully. To attach design to paper without a paper clip, leave excess wire at beginning and end of each design so you can bend the wire back and punch it through the paper. So what they're saying at the beginning here, you could have left a little bit extra, and then if you were done here, leave a little bit extra, and you would just punch those little extra bits through your paper and then clip it around. Interesting. Remove design by gently lifting up. Use fingers or pliers to make final adjustments and clip off excess wire, which I already did that, but this is very interesting. I think it has a little bit of learning curve because I'm just trying to be gentle. Maybe I'm too gentle with it. I don't know. This guy doesn't want to come out, but there we go. Aw, he looks more like a little mushroom than anything. Right? Ooh, you know what? Maybe to flatten it out a little bit, I would try and put something on it to help us do that. Just to kind of flatten it a little better. I don't know if that helps at all, but it seems to. Look at that. It even popped this right in place. Aw, that took a while to get that done, but again, that was my first one. And let's see how it does as far as like a little clippy. Oh, isn't that cute? It's like a little mushroom for sure. So if you were doing this for beading, then you can take like a very thin wire and put some beads and maybe wire wrap around here, wire wrap around the top, you know, or whatever. But that's basically what a wire jig does with beading. It feels really good. Obviously, you can bend this thing real easy. It's not like a paper clip where it's nice and hard, right? But cute. Okay, let me pull these pegs out and we're gonna try something more challenging because we're ready to go, guys. So let's see. I like the little ant sign, that's cute. Oh, the cup of coffee and this little guy's cute. Oh my goodness, should we try that? Okay, let's try this. In the meantime, so I'm just gonna place my little pegs. My goodness, can you pop them from the bottom? Ooh, that hurts. Okay, let's not do that. My goodness, okay. You have to get them a certain way and they will pop up. That's crazy. I don't want to use... Okay, that is going to be an issue for me. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out something to help me. Nope, that doesn't work. You're just going to have to pull them out and brute force. Is that right? That seems weird. Let's see. To remove pegs, okay. Yeah, I was like, that seems not great. To remove pegs, flip jig and push them out from below using a large peg. Okay, now we're talking. I was like, that is not great. Ooh, you still have to kind of hold on to this, but... What? There we go. It kind of helps you push, but you still got that poking your finger, so just be careful. And like you see, some of them are flying out more than others. And then, of course, put them back in the lidded compartments, it says. Okay. All right. Whew. All right. I am going to gather these up. That one might never come back. Here we go. All right, we do need a large one, so I have one in my hand now, which is great. And then it does want the medium clip for the beginner. And then if you're doing the paperclip, which of course I am, you're going to start with L16, or at least you need an L16, being a small one. So let's say L16, right there. Again, pop it down until you hear that. And you might not hear it, but just until it's nice and secure. We do need a big one at L20, so L16, L20. Again, those even numbers don't have a line coming from the top. I think that's it. And I need 4 medium. One of those is going to be the starter, which again, I don't know if... That's so funny. Oh, here it is. I was like, where's my starter? The starter one is I16, it looks like. So I16 should be the same as this guy. Yep. And there's lines there, so I'll put it here, and I'm going to line it up the way they showed it, which was straight across like this, like flat. Okay. And I'll continue placing them. So we have this guy at I24. So we already have... oh, that's not this guy. That's actually, sorry, N16, right? So N16, N is here. Oh, so close and little. My goodness, how cute. Okay, so I'm going to continue placing them just like whatever it says on the grid. I have this all set up, and I do have this wire. Like, this one's 22 gauge. I want you to see, like, how thin that is. Usually, I think the thicker, the bigger, the smaller the number, the thicker the wire. Isn't that how it goes? Yeah, exactly. So on this one I have 18 gauge, 20, and 24. And 20 and 24 are going to be kind of thin. That's these guys. And we have 18. So I would say this is probably between 16 and 18 gauge wire. And look at that, the difference. But that doesn't mean you can't use these. They're just not as strong, right? They're thin and wiry. So I'm going to use this one. This is from Michael's, from that bead landing. Just to try it out. Again, I would recommend 18, maybe 16 gauge, you know, something really nice and thick. But I'm sure, depending on what you're using it for, any nice wire will work. Now this guy's all wrapped around here. And it says I need 12 inches if we're going to put the paper clip on there, which I am. This wire is like completely shot at the beginning. So I'm just going to get rid of that portion. Not great. Hopefully that's not in the count of what they did here, because that is some really gnarly wire. Okay, so again, yeah, I'm assuming that wire that comes in there is probably 16, 14 gauge. Because this is thick, but it's not, doesn't feel as thick as even that one. Okay, about 12 inches it said. So I just measured out on my surface here. Ah, okay. And again, you're supposed to start at this clippy, just kind of out here, and then bring it around. But I want the paper clip, so I'm just going to... I'm going to go with the paper clip first, just to see how this goes when you start it off over here. So I'm just going to kind of bend this myself with my... That feels about right. And then, so it's basically going the same direction they said, instead of backwards or whatever I did last time. I did the right way, but then I added the paper clip at the end. So we have our clip here, and we're going to push that in there. Okay, obviously we're going to have to do some work with that. I'm going to close up just a little bit for you guys. And again, we're just following along. So if I wasn't doing the paperclip again, we would just start off over here and go around this. But now I'm here, I'm going around. It says to come down here. And then across to this guy. And I'm trying to get it straight, you know, nice and taut as I'm doing this. Up here. So I'm just following the image. And now it's showing to go straight across and around these guys and down here. So from here I'm going straight across these guys. See, the small ones are very deceptive because it feels like they're popped in, but they're not. Like this one I can tell is not yet. There we go. Okay. Let's hear that pop, guys. The small ones look like they're in there, but they really aren't. Okay. Again, straight across these 4. How cute already. And around these guys. So around these 4, and then straight down over here. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. Just want to make sure that middle peg is good. We're gonna wrap it around this guy. And again, I'm taking my time. Maybe later you can go a little faster, but I'm trying to keep it nice and straight so I don't have to do too much straightening out later. And around here. Now, look how much I'm wasting here. Again, if you had just a little bit and you're holding it, it's going to get hard to work with. So I don't mind having this, but that's a lot. So I think I might make myself a note like, I don't know, this was 12 inches and I'm going to cut this much off. Even at the end, if I'm working with this amount, that'd probably be okay. So I would say 10 inches next time I do this. But anyway, okay, so let's just give it a little bit of a tuck and cut. Because look at all that. And now it's wasted. But you can maybe make a little shape, something cute with this. I don't know. Okay. And there we are. Again, I can kind of pop this up. But now we're going to take these guys off. And I did a really good job of keeping this really nice and tight. So let's see how easy this is to pop off. This is so cute. Ooh, do you see what happened there? Come on. So when I pot it up, it just went like, bing, look at this. So again, just kind of that. I'm going to bring back my little something flat for me to help me out here. That looks pretty good. Let's see, this needs to go down just a little bit. Right, like that. And let's smash that, flatten it out. I would say that might help, it might not, because it needs to go like this. Okay, and this needs to come up. And I was being very gentle with it. So now we have another little paper clippy. And let's see how that's supposed to work. You guys, that's pretty cute. I mean, it's very abstract. But, I mean, if I saw that, I would know it's a camera. But, again, because I think the stuff that we do, to me, that's a camera, right? Somebody else might be like, that's really cute, though. Okay. Let's try a word. And I think we will... Again, this is my own stuff. So that's probably why it was more like bing than this one. Again, I would say this is like 16, 14 gauge. Well, this is 18. And it just had a little more finishing that I had to do to fix that. I love the little coffee cup, but we're going to do a word. It has a cute amount of projects in here. I just said the word cute, didn't I? That looks crazy. I think everyone does the hello, but I guess that's a good starter. So, oh, and I'm going to do the clip on that one too, for sure. So let me remove all these from the back, and I'll be right back. I guess I have to use the large one to remove the large one too. We are moving right along though, but again, this isn't my first time using a wire jig. Just in this way it is. Not bad. Keep it down low so things don't just fly away. I can push out 2 at the same time. Look at that. Okay, I'll be back. And just as before, I'm going to place my little pegs. I need one large at M26, medium ones at H21, H24, J15, K18, 11, well, L11 would be the one that starts off with the little slit right here. And then as far as the small ones, I'm going to place at G13, L15, because I am going to do the paperclip, L23, M17, M19, M21, and 14, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay, so we have this all here. And just because this is practice and stuff, I'm going to use this more inexpensive stuff that I already had picked up, right? That same wire instead of using my good wire from this kit. So it says 17 inches. So let's bring this out. And again, I'm just measuring this over here. Oh. this thing wound up in a funny way, so let's bring that out. So I'll measure out 17 inches and just cut that off. Again, I'm including the paper clip, so otherwise you would do like 15 inches. Okay. Alright guys, here we go. So, since I'm including the paper clip, it's showing me that I need to make the little clippy here, and it goes around this little area. So again, I'm just going to start off kind of eyeballing that, where I might bend it. And I'm just doing that on my own. Okay? So it's showing it to be something like this. Maybe I should have brought it a little bit bigger, but that's okay. So again, I'm starting with my little clippy. And it's supposed to go around. So the paper clip goes here, around this guy, and then it goes around the starter peg and into there. So around the starter peg, but then go ahead and get it clipped in here so you can use that area to help you keep it down. Okay. And it already wants to do that. It's going up here, around the little top guy here. And then from here, we are... This is very interesting. The picture is not drawn correctly or something. But if, anyway, from here, we're going to go here. Down here. And around, oh, sorry. Okay, so from here, we're going to go down here on the right side of the peg. Right side of the peg. And then up over here. Now, the reason I'm saying this doesn't look right is because in the picture, I'll show you right now. Let's just get going. Hopefully it'll stay. I feel like something's not right here. Oh, what a problem. Okay, well, let's just keep trying it out. So over this guy. Down in here. Now again, I'm trying to get into that groove. Under this one. And you're going to get it, I'll circle it around this guy. Everything I'm doing right now is backwards from the picture. I'm going to show you why. Okay, so we just went around and over. This is on top. And the picture, the hump of the H should be behind this stick, which is impossible because if that's where you're starting, you can't get it under. You know what I'm saying? It has to be over. Like, that makes no sense. And same thing with the E. They're showing this little loop under, like it went like this and then underneath, but you can't get it underneath. It's going to be over. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Okay. We won't fret. We'll just keep working. Okay, so there's that. And then, just like we were doing before, just basically under this guy, up to the first L, down, around. This is really fun, actually. Other than the picture being totally different, we're going to go over both of these, or from behind them, on both of them, instead of just like one. Behind, underneath both of them. Around this guy again. Just being real gentle with it. Come down here, and we're going to finish up all around the O. So you just go this way and around it. And back out. At least that's what they showed. So basically you could leave that piece, I suppose, at the end. Maybe you want to make like a little heart just on your own, or like add a little bead, finish it off or something, you know, do a little wire wrap. Oh my goodness. There's some ideas with that. So I'm going to leave that for now, just in case I do want to do something like that. Now let's take it off. What I want to show you is what I'm saying is if you start here and you're going up, that's fine. When you come back around, it's not going to go underneath like the picture shows. It's not going to go under. It's impossible, right? When you come back around here, it's going to be on top. It's impossible for it to go underneath. So, I don't know. But if you started here and went around, yeah, it'll be underneath because then you got to go over on top. And this one's underneath. You go over on top and it would be what they're showing. So, I don't know if that picture's incorrect or they're just, it doesn't actually matter at the end. I don't know. We'll see. If this thing completely goes boing, then we will know we had some issues. You know what I'm saying? Because pegging it underneath might actually keep it more together, but that's not too bad. Okay. So I'm going to smash that out and then I'll do some better arranging. So I'm looking at the H. I like the way that looks. I may push this up a little bit so it's straighter as I smash it down. think that's what it says in there, smash it down. No, I'm just kidding. But here we go. Very, very stylized. Hello. Again, maybe that can go up there. Oh my goodness, how cute though. Yeah, even their drawing of it is like weird. Okay. So let's see how that does as a clippy too. You guys, this is basically why I wanted it, so I'm gonna have to look up and see all the different words that we can make and have that just be something cute. Again, I left this here. Maybe I'll hang something from it or dangle something from it. Maybe I'll make this L a little more stylized there. That's pretty cute. Now let me see. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab just a plain piece of paper for you guys. These are pretty cute, you guys. I think I'm a little smitten. I know they have a bigger one like that makes you make way bigger things. I don't know that I would need that because I don't think I want things that are like super huge, but like that's pretty cute. All right, well, I'm happy. It takes a little work. My fingers are hurting a little bit from like pushing and even adding these in right now. I was like, ooh, especially the little small ones because they're so skinny, you know. But that's pretty cute. And again, I'm using my own wire on these guys, so they do look a little bit different than if you were using like this heavier gauge wire. But you can find wire everywhere. I mean, like I said, I had that stuff in my stash, so I was just able to bring that out just to try it out and see how that works. So anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you have one, let me know. I know I heard from a lot of you guys that you do have one. I know I have one myself. I just don't know where it is, and I have a feeling it's in one of those cubbies over there because I probably kept it with my beading stuff, you know. But anyway, all right, guys. I'll have images come up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.